So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is going to be quite an intimate session, which is an opportunity for you to engage with questions. We will have Q&A at the end, but also in the meantime, if we cover certain areas that are of interest, please jump in and be spontaneous. So I'm 𝐼𝐤 𝐇𝐢𝐤. I work for 365 Talent Portal, and today we will have a in-depth conversation with Microsoft, 𝐷𝐢𝐤, who are Microsoft partner, and 𝐼𝐤. And if you're here, you are probably curious about how to get started with Business Central and whether you're expanding your ERP portfolio or extending your Microsoft investment. If you're already a Microsoft partner, we'll share with you the latest innovation from Microsoft, as well as a typical journey for a partner who is getting started and the support you can expect when starting a practice. And we all know that starting a new practice sometimes could be overwhelming, especially if you don't know what's ahead of you as a journey. So our goal today is to remove some of this uncertainty and to help you make a more informed decision about whether, when, and how to get started with Business Central. So let me introduce the speakers today. We have Fredrik Hietala from Microsoft. He's a principal program manager working for Microsoft Corp, and he runs a number of global programs that help Business Central partners to start and grow their practices. A very important person to know at Microsoft. We have Rob Wood, who is the founder of 𝐷𝐢𝐤, and he has been in the Microsoft system for many years. And he moved from a Power Platform background to Business Central, so he will share his journey of how he started his practice and how they're ramping up and what makes it all work for them. And we'll also have Michael Hartman, Vice President of Business Solutions of 𝐼𝐤. And Microsoft is and Michael has been within the Microsoft system for many years. He used to work for Microsoft, and he'll explain how 𝐼𝐤 supports partners like you to scale without the massive investment that you would need to do by yourselves if you didn't work with 𝐼𝐤. And myself, as I said, I'm 𝐼𝐤 𝐇𝐢𝐤 from 365 Talent Portal. I had 20 plus years in the Dynamics space. I worked for Microsoft as well directly, and right now we work very closely with both Microsoft and 𝐼𝐤 in helping partners getting started and growing their practices. So let's start with Microsoft, because we're all here because of Microsoft, and we'd like to hear where Microsoft are heading in terms of innovation, AI, Copilot in Business Central, and what makes it such an exciting investment opportunity for people who are considering Business Central as an ERP, as a modern ERP. So let me hand over to Fredrik. Fredrik.
Thank you very much, Alina, and thanks, 𝐼𝐤, for inviting me to the presentation to this session. So looking forward to talk about a couple of things about innovation and AI, etc. So let's start with the opportunity for Business Central. There are four parts I would like to talk about. One is, of course, the focus on the SMB segment. There are a number of different organizations around the world that needs business applications as well as a new ERP system or replace the existing ERP system that they have outgrown. And secondly, it's also a great opportunity because Business Central is purely partner-led. It's through partners we do things, and of course, then our partners then get great margins on selling Business Central as an application. And there are a number of different initiatives that we make happen to incentivize and help our partners to grow their business. And thirdly, it's a lot of innovation happening, especially around AI, copilots, and agents. So talk more about that at a later point. And then lastly, we have a great momentum for Business Central. We have currently around 45,000 customers around the world, different kind of segments, and we are growing at a fast pace as well. Right, so I combine a couple of things in this slide deck. So one, I would like to present a video just showing the breadth and what we do in terms of the AI and Copilot. Now, let's run this.
Growing. Transform the way work gets done with Microsoft Copilot in Dynamics 365 Business Central, your everyday AI companion. Save time by asking questions to find what you need. And onboard quickly with Copilot to guide you as you develop new skills. Accelerate sales and spark creativity with marketing text suggestions tailored to your unique brand, using details already in Business Central like color, size, and material. Use Copilot to create sales quotes, orders, and invoices faster and easier than ever before, so you can invest time in relationships instead of paperwork. Simplify your day-to-day by automating business processes with Power Automate flows. And reclaim time for your most impactful work by using Copilot to keep your finances organized, from reconciling bank statements to matching purchase orders with e-invoices. All while using analysis views to make data-driven decisions that propel your business forward to new levels of success. Work smarter, adapt faster, and perform better with Microsoft Copilot in Business Central.
So as you can see, we are using Copilot to do a number of things. One is, of course, to make sure that we analyze data and present that in a good way. And secondly, it's also about how you can use your own language to search and find the right information, as well as improve the text, etc., in the application, in the system as well. Mention the growth in number of customers. We have a great opportunity as a partner to add add-ons and extend Business Central, and many of those applications are available on AppSource, our marketplace for selling the partner IP to our customers, for your own customer base, but also to other customers that may need your specific IP. We're also available in a number of countries. I think we cover almost the whole world. I think it's around 200, so we're missing a few before we cover the full world. Right, so we have a number of different industries we support. We support the majority of the industries: manufacturing, retail, professional service, non-profit, and consumer goods. So these are just some of our examples. They span from a few users up to thousands of users. And ours, even though our sweet spot is the SMB, which is defined as around 10 to 300 employees, we now span from a few users then to larger enterprise, which could be the Coca-Cola of the world, that has a number of subsidiaries that then needs a business application and a new ERP system to support their specific business. We continue to build on the Microsoft Azure, and that is our base for the application. We then integrate into other applications like Teams, Microsoft 365. You can import, export from Excel. You can use Word to send documents to your customers. We have integration and easy capabilities to use Power Platform inside from within Business Central. You can use Power BI to do reporting. You can use Power Apps to build extensions to Business Central. You can use Power Automate to do workflows and automate some of the businesses, both from Business Central data, but also integrate into other systems as well. So it allows you to extend and build on the existing Microsoft stack, as well as extend Business Central as such from within the application. As you may know, Business Central is an integrated application that integrates sales, service, finance, and different operational processes. It allows you to do more advanced manufacturing, doing service management, and handle projects. But of course, it also supports the core financial parts, as well as extend into other areas like sales management, etc. It also has a simple UI, which we have focused a lot on to make sure that our businesses that use Business Central can easily navigate through the application. So this is one of the landing pages for Business Central. As you can see, there are a number of great information the customer can see, as well as go deeper into different areas that the role the person use in the daily business. And as a partner, you may then wonder how much you can customize and configure. You can basically do everything, changing the UI, extend the number of fields, the tables, and change the layout of the application. As I mentioned, we integrate into Power Platform, and this is just a simple way of illustrate that now the Power BI is well integrated into the UI, so you can use out-of-the-box functionality to support your customers around the world, but you can also customize and build your own reports and embed that into the application as such. We spoke about the capabilities we have out of the box, which is a number of different processes we support. There's a variety of different capabilities we have out of the box. But then there is possibility, as I mentioned, to build IP on top of it and either support the horizontal processes. It could be documentation management, it could be related to e-commerce, but also develop vertical capabilities that support specific industries like manufacturing execution, retail solution, or distribution and warehouse functionality, and use then AppSource to extend and sell your services through AppSource. There are new things coming up, which is around the AI and agents, which then change the how system works today and also in the future. Normally, you have the data, you build your workflows, and then on top of that, you have a UI that then you can use to, or the customer can use to interact with the system. Now we take the data and then change that. We build then the Copilot, which is the UI of a new system, and then we have agents, which is connecting the different dots inside the application, as well as then use data to build knowledge without where you as a user then use that knowledge to enhance and do better businesses together with the customers. So this is a way we have changed the world. There are two concepts that we now build upon, which is the Copilot, and then we have the agents. The Copilot, see that as your personal assistance, your concierge type of person, where you can use your native language to interact with the application. And then we have agents. Agents is more company-wide capabilities that then support your business and interact independently of you as a user and connect different kind of processes as a company-wide service. This is an example of application we have built. It's about suggest sales order line. So let me show you how it works. This is a normal sales order, which has a header and a couple of lines. And for the sales lines, you then would like to add the quantity and the item type and the description and where to find that. And for the for sales line suggestions, which use then Copilot, we then have a prompt where you can then interact with the prompt and use your own language. So let's assume you use one red bike. You don't know the product ID, you don't know where it is, what location, etc. But now you are trying to find that information in the ERP system. So it starts then to look into different kind of entities and then suggest Copenhagen red bike. What it does is take information from the description of the item itself. It takes information from the images available in the application. It then takes the variants in terms of, in this case, the Copenhagen bike has different kind of colors. It has a black frame, red frame, and white frame, and then it uses the red frame building on the language model that is available in the application. And then it takes the attributes that are available in the application that someone has typed in, and then use the red color and then present that to the user, one Copenhagen red bike. Let's go over to agents. So agents is almost as cool as these guys, but I can use an example of what a sales order agent does today that is available in the application.
For small businesses, every order matters. And with limited resources, quickly responding to orders can be challenging. The sales order agent in Dynamics 365 Business Central sets out to change that. Let's say you are a sales manager. You can easily activate the agent right from your Business Central home screen. Once the order intake email address is provided, you are ready to go with no additional configuration required. The agent highlights tasks to be reviewed, and it's easy to see how it's engaging with inbound orders based on the timeline view. If an order email is vague, the agent can correspond with the customer to clarify and takes into account available inventory and any previously flagged customer preferences. The agent does the bulk of the work, and you only need to check the correspondence and sales quote before it's shared with the customer. With the sales order agent in Business Central, customers now get an improved ordering experience and faster delivery, while your sales team can spend their time focusing on expanding the business.
So this is an example of an agent that we have built, and we continue, of course, to do more innovation, build more agents, build more Copilot functionality out of the box that you as a partner can use to sell that to your customers. But we also have capabilities of, you can build on top of the existing Copilot functionality. You can then enhance and build on the Azure OpenAI model that we have embedded in the Business Central application and build your own Copilot functionality. We also allow in the future to build agents, etc., and help you as a partner to do your specific IP that support your customers. But now we then, of course, do new releases. We have 2 major releases every year, talking about new functionality, etc., and where we release new functionality. So let me have a video that then present the latest innovation we made for the release here that we released in April.
In this release wave, we're making it easier to get crucial information into Business Central and intelligent insights out. Let's check it out. First, we know that when business is doing well, it's really easy to spend lots of time capturing content in Business Central. New customers, new sales opportunities, and so on. Autofill is here to make that a lot easier. Say your team member comes in and creates a new customer account. They add the name and click Suggest, and the autofill magic happens. Autofill uses a number of different ways to suggest the likely answer. It can search the web to look up the address of the customer. It could suggest the most frequently used or most sensible answer for the next field, and so on. Autofill is a huge productivity booster and time saver using the power of AI grounded in Business Central data. When your Business Central environment is full of rich data, you want to be able to consume it quickly. With the new Summarize capability, you can do just that. On the most used pages in Business Central, you can now see an instant summary presented by Copilot. Why is this summary so helpful? it's not just servicing what's important or urgently needs your attention from that page, but also from related pages, including information from custom fields, providing you with really impactful insights that are tailored to your role. The quick links will direct you straight to where that content is in the record so that you can go from insight to making decisions and taking action in record timing. Need more information? Simply click to get more insights and ask Copilot how to take action. Finally, it's more important than ever to be able to understand and report on the sustainability of your processes. Our new Scope 3 value chain process automation is now embedded across the standard Business Central ERP processes. The feature will automatically calculate the carbon dioxide equivalent for your finished goods by using raw material emissions data from purchase documents and adding emissions from operations in manufacturing processes, providing you with the figures you need to report on your indirect emissions data across your upstream and downstream value chain. Scope 3 represents the majority of your emissions and is the most complex to measure, so we're excited to give you the capabilities to more easily calculate it, information that we know influences your business decisions and aligns with many regulations. There's so much more coming. Please head to the Release Wave notes to learn more.
Right, so this was the end of the slide deck. So presented a number of different capabilities we have out of the box, allow you as a partner to build on top of that and enhance the application, use AI, Copilot agents to also build on the new technology for the future. And remember, we had the Clip-it in the old days. That was the father of Copilot. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Fredrik. Yes, and as you can see, there's a massive investment going behind the investment in AI, Copilot, agents. It's already here. Customers can use all of this technology, and there's lots more coming behind the scene that is released every 6 months. So it is an extremely modern application, unmatched by what is currently available in the market, and with a significant commitment to invest even more in the future. So thank you, Fredrik. Now let's talk to a partner and a real journey that a partner has embraced and starting a practice. And Rob, you've been a Microsoft partner for what, 30 years? And you sold your company and started a new company, 𝐷𝐸𝐸, and you decided to choose Business Central as your foundation. And you didn't have the experience with Business Central, so very brave move. So can you tell us more about it?
Sure, no problem. Welcome. 𝐷𝐸𝐸 means business in Dutch, so that's the explanation for what we do. We are a Business Central provider for project-driven organizations. And to be honest, when I sold my old company, where we had 4,000 customers in the design software space, we did a lot of projects, and we did that with a Dutch brand ERP system, a big one. And I worked with other ERP systems as well. So I worked with Navision, I worked with Exact, and I worked with AVA. So there's a couple of big ERP systems. And as a director of the company, having good processes was essential for what we wanted to achieve. And what we wanted to achieve was to work everywhere we could. So not be tied to the office, but because we are consultants, we also work at a customer, we can work at home, whatever. And as a director, you also have the need to see your figures. You have the urge to know where your business is and what your business is running. And it was a 60 people business with more than 20 million euros revenue. So you wanted to be sure that you had the right information at your fingers all the time. And when I sold the company, I went on on holiday, a couple of off holidays, and after a while, I got really bored. It was fun to see a church, but after the 200th church and the 400 restaurants, I said, okay, nice. I'm sitting on a tribune watching the game, but I'm not part of the game anymore. And with my previous company, a lot of our customers asked us, how did you become so digital? How did you become a paperless office? And how did you make that possible? And especially the last couple of years, we add 1% of revenue more to the profit every year. And that was because we were focusing on how do we run processes, how do we run the organization, how do we make our company as agile as possible, as fluid as possible. So that's what we did, and that's what why I started the 𝐻𝐤, help customers in the SMB space to become a digital company. That's literally our mission.
And what made you choose Business Central? Because you mentioned you worked with few different ERP applications.
There are a couple of reasons for that. The first one is that most SMB organizations use Office, Microsoft 365. They have it. They use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, maybe Teams, maybe SharePoint, and if they use Teams only for collaboration, so calling and chatting, and that's about it. The second thing is we wanted to have an ERP system that was fully integrated with those basic tools they have. And it was really frustrating in my time before that those other systems were not capable of easy integrating with the Microsoft tooling. So you were always putting data out into something and putting it in, and it was hard to work with. Not the application by itself, but to integrate it in your business. We always needed developers to get a small thing done. And if you want to be flexible and at a high speed that we did operate on, you don't want to wait for months. You want to have a fix in a couple of days, and therefore we needed to have an application, an ERP system that was integrated into the Microsoft 365 environment and was open. All the big Dutch companies, they don't allow developers to work on their platform. You always need to bolt onto something instead of extending the product, extending the possibilities for your customers. Make it fit for your specific business you're focusing on. And that was the three most important things we choose from. And there's one other thing, being a partner. It's very important to choose someone, an organization that is trustworthy, being a partner. And Microsoft proved and still is proving that they are a trustworthy partner, that they have partners as a very important asset to them. And I've worked with other technology companies that are not always fair with their partners.
That's a great statement, Rob, because Microsoft are truly indirect in the SMB space, and there's no competition. They work with partners, and there's a big partner support organization behind. And then we have distributors and organizations like Companion who enable the partners and work with them. Now, Rob, you have a lot of tech background. You very modern organization. You talked about the digital experience you've had, and you were a Microsoft partner before with a Power Platform background. So what advantage was that for you when you were starting a Business Central practice? Because you weren't an ERP partner. You had exposure to ERP, but you embrace Business Central as something new for you. So what were the advantages of having that modern mindset and knowledge and understanding the Microsoft ecosystem, even without the ERP knowledge as such?
I have a little special interest. Let me say so. I have an MBA, so I run a business. But what I sometimes don't understand is that as a business leader, I meet a lot of business leaders that don't know how the tools work. Imagine you have a carpenter that doesn't know how a saw is working. For me, that's impossible. So I want to know, how do the tools we use on a daily basis, how do they work? That's my curse, or my whatever you call it. I want to know literally how it works. And I think as a director, you should know, if you want to have a digital company, you should know how your tools are working. So that's one of the things. So when we started to work with Business Central, I already had a big background in tooling. What is it possible? What can we do with it? But also in the processes of a company. How do companies work? I have 30-year experience in processes. I literally, whenever I come into a company, within 5 minutes, I know what it can be fixed, what is wrong with the company, and that's something that I know almost immediately because of the experience. So working with Business Central I thought it was not a very big thing, because Business Central is aimed for the small and medium businesses. That was where I was wrong. Honestly, Business Central is a very, very mature product. It's very rich in functionality. It's unbelievable what the capabilities are for a small and medium size business. You can literally do a lot with it. So my first mistake was that I thought, okay, it's just for small and medium business, so it will not take me ages to learn it. Well, it was a steep learning curve, but we managed, and we did a lot of things to literally, what can we do with the product? We had to use, I've worked with Navision, so some of the things I was used to, but some other things were not Dutch, were not regional, were literally very worldwide things, platform-based things that were not completely suited for the Netherlands. But of course, that's something that I was aware of and that we had to fix.
Thank you, Rob. And when we had the discussion, you mentioned that technology wasn't the biggest challenge, people were. So can you tell us more about this and how Companion helped with this as well?
There are especially with ERP systems, there are a couple of challenges you have. You need to know the technology. That's one of the things, but you also need to know the processes. And having an MBA doesn't mean that I'm an accountant. And it also was very, how do I say that, shocking sometimes to see how companies are working when you start to investigate other companies. I was lucky, or I drove a company that was fully digital, had a great team, and things were running literally smooth. That was what we did. And when I examined the processes of some of my early contacts and my early customers, I was amazed. They were running their primary process, so from first customer contact to getting the cash on their bank, so all those important steps, with 10 to 15 different applications, and more than once using Excel in the middle, somewhere, somehow, to gather data, to analyze it, or whatever, to calculate a project proposal, or it was shocking to see. Yeah, for that application we have another user ID, and for that application you need to do that button first, and then it was amazing to see how badly organized some of their major processes were in good running companies.
So you were helping the customers not just with the technology, but with the processes and rethinking and full digitalization and transformation in that respect.
Yes, that's what we try. That's the hardest part. That's what I mean. It's not only technology. You have to change companies and help them to work easier, more efficient, and more productive.
Absolutely. And how did Companion help you with the Business Central journey when you got started and you're currently a Companion partner?
They helped us with, they have a very good learning portal. So their learning portal is great, and that helped us a lot to get started. They also have a very good service organization, so questions about the product, what can you do, what can't you do, what are things that you shouldn't do. Those are the things that were really helpful in onboarding us with the product. That was really good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rob. I wish we had more time because this is a very interesting discussion, but we still need to cover a few other things. So let me now move on to Michael. And Michael, let's share Companion's support mechanism and how you work with partners and how you enable partners when they get started and continue their journey.
Absolutely. Thanks, Helena, and thanks, Frederick. Thanks, Rob, for being one of the partners that we have now in our community. Let me go to the next slide, because what I think makes us probably special is our dedication to the Dynamics business. As you're probably aware, there are a lot of service companies, and there are a lot of companies that can help you as a partner to transact the Microsoft Cloud service licenses, which Microsoft calls the indirect CSPs. And they're all good, but I think what makes us unique is again our dedication to dynamics. So we have one purpose, one mission, which is to empower all dynamics partners to exceed expectations. So that can be expectations from customers, from shareholders, but also from your employees, which are of course the most important asset that you probably have. And this is our CEO, Rob, and he shares with the entire team this vision that we want not only to be the largest community, but also the most preferred community. So where people, regardless what profession you have as an individual within a partner, if you're technical, if you're a consultant, if you're a marketing person, that we can serve you and that we provide you with services and with offerings that can help you to master your profession even better. So that's what makes us unique. So we're really dedicated to dynamics, which doesn't mean that we don't also transact Microsoft M365 or Azure, but we always have the lens of a dynamics partner. So we always look at or try to look at the world with the lens of a dynamics partner. The first thing that you get from Companion is the community. And instead of us bragging about how great these things turn out to be, here's some quotes from some of our partners. So here's Wilbert from Peacock, and he really enjoys the community because what we try to do is bring together the community on a regional basis. So we have what we call the Companion Connects, where we invite partners to attend physically and to share challenges, to share opportunities. And we have a network now where a lot of partners work together because sometimes it's just like you have a prospect in a certain industry that you cannot serve or a workload that you're not able to implement, and then you find like-minded partners within this community. So these events and bringing together the communities is one key aspect what partners enjoy when going to Companion. The other thing is, and I think, thank you, Rob, you already alluded a bit to it. I mean, of course, we have expertise. I mean, we have, we do nothing but dynamics, if you like. And so we have this expertise. And as Rob said, our service team, when it comes to things like licensing, but also technical services, they really understand the dynamics business. And that is what we bring across to partners, or as Daniel said, he's a small partner and he knows he cannot do everything. He doesn't know everything, right? And so he needs to rely on a partner that can do that for him. One thing that we learned from all of our partners is that, they all, or I've yet to find a partner that tells me, hey, Michael, I have 10 people sitting on the bench. I don't know what to do with them, right? I mean, all partners have typically more demand that they can serve. So they need to create more capacity. And that's where we help as well. I think, Rob, you alluded to the learning journeys as a learning portal. So where your technical staff can constantly be trained, but we also can help you to outsource certain tasks from your plate. So we can outsource migration. We can outsource also your license operation to us. So we really try to help you. And then we have together with Microsoft even a program called Reskill, where we help you to recruit new talent out of the industry that you serve, so manufacturing or financial. So that is really what we do in terms of helping you to build out capacity. And then we have capabilities that we bring to you. So we understand as a mid-sized partner, you cannot, invest in everything, but you don't have to. So I take an example when it comes to provisioning licenses to partners, right? You can, of course, invest in your own portal that you give to customers, but that's, significant investment. Or you take Companion's portal and you can customize it. So you can, quote unquote, white label it. So it appears as if it is your own portal that you can expose to customers, and they can then, for example, provision additional seats or take out subscriptions of Microsoft services. And as Johan said, they really like the quality of the capabilities that we provide to partners. So again, sorry. One of the nice things is our learning journeys. We have that not only for Business Central, but also for customer engagement, for finance supply chain, for Power Platform, for AI. And basically your staff, your technical staff, being it consultants, developers, they can basically do their learning on their own pace. We have expert sessions, but we also give real world or real life scenarios and workloads to your people so that they can basically run an exercise, do a real implementation, and then we have our support staff that basically discusses the outcome with your people and helps them to optimize moving forward. Now, we also have support if you happen to be a partner in a certain industry. Now, Microsoft Business Central, with all its capabilities, doesn't have everything needed for a certain industry. But instead of every partner in manufacturing now doing the same functionality, we provide additional functionality that is sort of mandatory for a certain industry out of the box with our empowered industry solutions. And then you can add whatever differentiates you really towards your customers. Oops, that was the wrong button, sorry for that. So just to summarize, as Companion, we are not only an indirect CSP provider, we also have legacy, meaning on-premise licenses if you happen to need that. We have currently around 1,000 or more than 1,000 Dynamics partners. We serve them worldwide. We are around now 270 employees with a lot of Dynamics expertise. We also host Business Central on Azure. So if you happen to have customers that for whatever reason don't want to go to BC Online, they want to have just on-prem installation on Azure, we can also serve that. We have 1,500 customers who do that. We are supporting partners both on the operational side, but also on the technical side. One thing that we are really proud of is that the satisfaction with our technical teams is actually quite high. So they really serve partners on a day-to-day basis. So that is us. We are part of what Microsoft calls the inner circle, which is, the top strategic partners that Microsoft has. So we have a direct exchange with Microsoft executives, not only with Frederick, but also with others. And so we feel that we are sort of the ambassadors for our partners. So we try to collect all the feedback, the issues, the opportunities, and provide that back to Microsoft so that Microsoft can take the feedback, not only from Companion, but more importantly from our partners into their own planning. So you can get in touch with us, obviously through myself. But then if you happen to be in one of the European countries, we typically either have an office there or we have people on the ground that you can contact. We also have an office now in Canada where we serve our Canadian partners or North American partners. Please get in contact with us and hopefully, you have a similar positive experience than Rob just shared earlier on. And with that, back to you, Elena.
Thank you so much, Michael. And I know the partners on the call have already been in touch with Companion, so that's great. But for anyone listening to the recording, absolutely hear the contacts and you can follow up. Now, what I also wanted to build on is that starting a practice isn't something that happens overnight. And it's a journey, and it could be a long journey, especially if you are busy with the other sides of your business, running day-to-day operations. You can have a lot of conflicting priorities. So the way we help Companion partners is we work with them in helping set the vision and investment plan and working on the value proposition for selected niche and even working on a differentiation between existing offerings, the new offering with Business Central, and helping you set a unique sales proposition that sets you apart from the competition that there's already in the market. And we also help you creating and packaging your own offering so you can stand out and leveraging the resources that Companion can offer you. And once you establish this, we work with you on setting up the messaging channels and campaigns for your marketing. So it is very well targeted and positioning. So you don't go with the generic standard Business Central messaging that is available out there. And of course, as you build the pipeline, you look at ways to help you shortening your sales cycle, and as well as building delivery capacity and capabilities, again, leveraging Companion's resources. And we know all of this takes time, and many companies learn from trial and error, and this could make the journey longer. So hopefully you can leverage Companion and us to accelerate this journey with a much more focused practice development, strategy, coaching, and guidance. So we have an opportunity for one-on-one consultation. We'll put a link in the chat, but for the people here on the call, I know you're already connected with us, so we can shortcut this and make it easier for you. We have just a couple more minutes. So I'd like to, Mohammed, I don't know if it's possible for us to open the mics for any questions.
Yeah, the mics are open.
Yeah. Yeah, David, you have a question, yeah?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, yes.
Okay. So my background is 20 years in F&O, and I'm seeing a number of opportunities in BC now. I have one query. Within the F&O community, Microsoft obviously wanted to put more rigor into the experience and replaced SureStep with Success by Design to try and ensure that the experience that a customer had was consistent, independent of the partner that was working with them. Is that same drive there in the BC channel as well, that Microsoft, is probably for Frederick, that Microsoft are keen to see an improvement in the experience the customer has, and therefore trying to standardize the way that partners work?
Right. So yeah, good question, David. So we use the same framework, Success by Design, even though Business Central is more easier to implement than, for example, finance and supply chain in that matter. Many of our partners, including Companion, have their own processes and methodologies to do the successful implementation. So in this case, the Companion can help with that. I think Michael and team has some programs for this one. But of course, we prefer to have a methodology and secure that our customers then, especially in the larger segment, get a good service from the partners engaging with them.
Thank you, Frederick. David, any other questions? I know you're quite knowledgeable about the space.
No, that's fine. It was really the delivery approach, because I'm aware that obviously the Business Central community is needing to, well, we've seen the word upskill a number of times, but more rigor needing to go into the delivery approach as the product becomes more complex.
Great.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Gavin, Rachel, any questions from your perspective?
No, not at the moment. I think obviously we had a conversation on Thursday, so we've got a lot to digest at the minute and build out a plan. So I think we've got a meeting with Companion next week. Yeah. So we're sort of like laying foundations at the moment to be able to move step by step. So at the moment it's information gathering rather than sort of any sort of Q&As.
Exactly. And just to let you know, Frederick is a colleague of Kurt, and Michael, Gavin, and Rachel, and David are having conversation with, they had a conversation with Will and are following up with the UK team next week. So, yeah.
Perfect.
That's good. Excellent. Well, we're right on time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, David, Gavin, and Rachel for joining. Thank you to the presenters. We'll have the recording as well shared with some partners that couldn't attend. But enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll be in touch.